What's crystal clear from the Prime Minister's announcement today is that millions of Australians will be worse off, even under the government's own modelling. And even under the government's own forecasting, we will not actually cut our emissions with this carbon tax emissions trading scheme. So you've got to ask yourself, what is the point of all of this if millions of Australians are going to be worse off and we are not actually going to cut our emissions? This is a Labor green carbon tax, and it's going to drive up prices, threaten jobs and do nothing at all for the environment. The government boasts that 90% of Australians will receive compensation and that 40% of households will be overcompensated. Well, I think all Australians are capable of translating Polly speak. What that means is that 10% of households will get absolutely nothing, and that 60% of households will either be worse off or it will be line ball. Under any carbon tax regime, everyone will pay. And I make the final point, if this is such a good package, why won't the Prime Minister fight an election on it? Why won't she fight an election on it soon? And certainly there should be no carbon tax without the people of Australia having their chance to have their say on it.
So the first key point is you cannot trust the government on electricity. Electricity bills will hike by 10% in the first year, but they are set to hike each and every year out to 2020. The second point is that the tax itself will go north each and every year. It is a very interesting fact that the Greens went to the election calling for a $23 a tonne fixed price on carbon, and that's exactly what was delivered today. The Greens are also calling for a massive increase in the tax itself, and that's exactly what will be delivered tomorrow.
This is more tax. Over the next 3 years, the government, in net terms, that's after tax cuts, the government is going to collect $17 billion more. Its expenditure is going to increase by $21 billion. The interesting thing is they said it'd be budget neutral. $4.3 billion off the budget bottom line, including $2.7 billion this year. So we're 10 days into the financial year and already the budget this year is $2.7 billion worse off. It comes down to this. It's going to be costly, it's going to be complex, and it's relying heavily on a trust me factor. And Australians are going to pay heavily, either indirectly or directly. They are going to pay heavily. There is nothing in here for what is an amazingly complex new regulatory system for every business. And it's going to have an impact on confidence, it's going to have an impact on sovereign risk.
Thanks, Chair.